What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kelli Ferrell, her ex-husband, is suing Bravo for defamation over abuse allegations. And he's suing for $20 million, but the article says he wants $200 million. And it's not funny. It's not funny. The only reason why I chuckled is because this season of Real Housewives, or even last season with Britt Eady, she's also suing Bravo for $20 million. And I'm like, what is going on with all these Bravo lawsuits, especially from the newbies? But let's go ahead and get into it. So, Kelli Farrell was a new addition to the Real Housewives of Atlanta last season, but she's already making waves. Her ex is suing Bravo for claims made about him on the show. In court documents obtained by TMZ, Chavallo, I don't like that name, but Mark is his middle name, so we're going to call him Mark. Farrell, they called him Mark on the show as well, claimed Kelli spread lies on the show in a fabricated storyline that he abused Kelli and did not pay back money. Now, here's the thing, right? If you guys remember, he was in jail for not paying his child support. So it's not just like Kelli just, I guess he called it a fabrication, but did the judge call it a fabrication too? Because they don't just put you behind bars for anything. Well, at least, especially not in Atlanta, right? Where it's the Mecca, okay? But if you are, you have a history of not taking care of your children, and even when Kelli had to go on the group trip, and she had her village come over, and she was telling them, you know, what time to drop the girls off from school and what schools to go to, and just coordinating everything, because she had a job to do, to go to Grenada. But you know, he got on the phone to talk with Mark, and Mark basically said that he didn't want to have anything to do with the girls. And it's like, these are your daughters too. It kills me that so many men just simply like opt out of parenthood. Like, you didn't assist and help creating this human being. This is a living soul made in the image of God. And it's just like, it's crazy how so many men are just like, I don't feel like it, or oh, I'm not going to pay child support. Or I just made a video about Kevin McCall on the podcast crying, waving his EBT card around. But he's upset at child support. And it's like, you have two daughters, and the judge simply asked you, the child support payment was like $2,000 a month. That's not a lot of money. If you can afford to buy your mama a $50,000 home, which that's modest, I get that, that's reasonable. But you don't have a legal obligation to take care of your mother. Your mother is an adult. You have a legal obligation to take care of children that you help create. Similarly to Mark. But he said, even on the phone, that he didn't want to have anything to do with his girls. That's heartbreaking. So he had to go to jail behind that. So listen, one thing about Bravo, they not only are they messy, okay, with the producers, but they have the receipts, the proof, screenshots, timeline. They actually have him, the audio on camera. Well, he's, on the phone, he wasn't in the room, but he said that he didn't want to have anything to do. Like, he just wasn't going to participate. He wasn't going to visit the girls while Kelli was gone. Because that's one thing too, right? It's one thing not to get along with, your ex-spouse. Okay, fine. But what if the girls do? They didn't do anything to you. You're still their father. And yet you don't want to have anything to do with them. So they put your butt behind bars. So now you're trying to go after Bravo for defamation. Did they defame you, or did they just, roll the beautiful bean footage? He says that he and Kelli jointly applied for a $420,000 loan back in 2022 to build out a restaurant called Nana's Chicken and Waffles. He says that Kelli spent a bunch of the loan money on her birthday and and other unauthorized expenses, and then fabricated a story that Mark stole the money from her. He says that he repaid the loan, but is still pressing forward with the false claim that he stole $420,000. Okay, first off, right? Kelli's restaurant is doing fine. So much so that she's able to open a second location. So shout out to Kelli with that. But also, if you repaid back the loan, I don't understand what the issue is. And she says that you took the money. And why are you pocket watching her if she's going out and spending some for her birthday? It's like, but she already recouped that lost money by, the restaurant being successful. People love to pocket watch other people, man, I promise. According to Mark, cast members talked about him on the show, saying, quote, he's a criminal, an abuser, and a fraud, end quote. Mark claims that the show's producers continued to broadcast the allegations despite knowing that they were false. Did they know that they were false? Because Kelli has a vantage point as well. But okay. He says that it damaged his personal and professional reputation to the tune of $100 million. But like, are you Dr. Evil, sir? Are you Elon Musk? No. $100 million. Just reminds me of Michael Myers. and and the gag is, I don't know if he's ever heard of the old adage, there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire. A lot of these billionaires do not have the cleanest track record. And most of the time, most people don't even care if you're a billionaire, what your reputation is, or, Jeff Bezos. I mean, a lot of people at Amazon were, saying that they were peeing in the back of a truck or in bottles because they weren't able to stop. And he's throwing lavish, wedding ceremonies in Venice. I mean, Diddy may be getting pardoned by Trump because he has a lot of money. Diddy's no longer a billionaire, but he was at one time. I don't know if Trump ever was a billionaire, but that's his claim. But the point is, it's like, was your reputation really, really hurt to the tune of $100 million? Now those receipts I want to see. And not to say that you shouldn't think highly of yourself, right? That's a very, oh, excuse me, y'all, yawned. High standard, high estimation, right? And listen, go off because I'm priceless, right? Your worth as a human being is not, in my opinion, it can't be tally with any type of monetary value, right? I feel like because we're souls and will live on in eternity, um, then there's no amount of money that can match that. Like people love to, worry about other people's net worth, but it's your intrinsic worth and inherent worth and value that's really important. But anyway, he said $100 million. Okay, let's give him that. His personal and professional reputation was ruined to the tune of $100 million. But that's not all. He also wants the court to dole out an additional $100 million in punitive damages to send a message to the network, bringing the total to a whopping $200 million. Kelli and Mark reportedly married in 2011, had 3 children together before finalizing the divorce in 2022. We reached out to Bravo. So far, no word back. Okay, so I forgot the oldest daughter is not his biologically, but still, I mean, 3 out of the 4. And when you're dealing with children, I'm not somebody who likes to differentiate between kids. You know what I mean? Like Kelli and her girls, all 4 are a package deal, and you knew that when you met her. But anyway, so he's suing Bravo for $200 million. This is a mess. I don't know what to say. Except I know that Bravo has very good lawyers. And considering the fact that you do have some legal issues in regards to, child support. And I think that Kelly had to get a restraining order against him, if I'm not mistaken. Those things are not going to work well for you and in your favor in regards to a defamation lawsuit when you're talking about, um, your character and your personal and professional reputation, because you're going to have to prove that in discovery. Like, you're going to have to prove the Bravo damaged your reputation personally and professionally to the tune of $200 million. I'm like, what in the Elon Musk is going on here? I mean, that would mean that they like talked about your businesses, your brand, your, you know what I mean? Like, just, and to be honest, all I remember was them just like having the cameraman and Kelly's friend, with you on the phone, but it was you saying that you weren't going to visit your girls while Kelly was away on her trip out of the country, which would have been the perfect time to do so, by the way. You're the one who said that you were not going to take your girls to school, pick them up, come check on their well being, nothing. You would prefer them to be left in the hands of people who, are not their custodial parent or their biological parent or their, former step parent. Like, sir, even if the oldest girl is not yours biologically, you were still in her life while you were married to her mother. And the three other girls are your daughters. They are half your DNA. So, and you just completely, relinquished that responsibility. And Bravo happened to be there to roll the cameras because it's a part of Kelly's life. So it's like the $200 million. To me, the math is not mathing, but I'm not the judge, or the jury. You're going to have to prove that in court. I will be interested, though. I'm very interested to see how he came up with that valuation. Like, do you have a brand that is worth $200 million? Because, and this is just me, following the money, the logistics. I'm thinking if you did, you probably would not have spent time behind bars for refusing to pay child support. Like, a judge would not repeatedly have to remind you to pay for the children that you helped create if you, had a valuation or, net worth, with whichever, of an excess of $200 million. That's just, my thinking. But go off, Mark. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna go after Bravo again. Like Britt Eady, she's going after Bravo. Um, it's ridiculous because he's not even an employee of Bravo. He's just an ex-husband of, Kelly, who is a housewife. But this is interesting. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about Mark suing Bravo for $200 million? I think it's a bit excessive, but I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.